Morning, bro.
Morning, morning.
Morning, bro. How you doing? All right?
Morning, morning.
Morning, bro.
Let's go with Salim. Yeah, I can't hear you, mate. I'm afraid. Morning, morning. Hope it's not a ranging day in London. Yeah, me too. I hope it's not a ranging day either. But yeah, at the same time, I was waiting for the 30-minute candle to potentially, close above this area, and it couldn't. So there's no volume right now. So we just gotta wait. I think because of the week we had last week, I mean, to be honest with you, we're gonna have to wait for good confirmations here today. What's going on, Kingship? Yeah, I had a good good weekend. Thank you. Hope you did too. So yeah, GJ is kind of not doing anything right now. Gold. Let's do some analysis here on gold soon. Gold's trying to move bullish over here. I think gold is coming up to 1825. That is my anticipation on gold. Euro NZD. We can get beautiful Euro NZD sells below this support over here. In fact, we have a smaller range here now. How big's this range? Not that big. It's like
Morning, bro.
13 pip. Morning, Salim.
Are
I
we
can
doing
hear
alright?
you. Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, I am fantastic. I was just having a problem with the mic.
Yeah, no worries. Good weekend.
Yeah, it's been alright. Yeah.
Nice.
How's yours? How's yours been?
Yeah, not bad. It snowed here last night, so
Yeah, it did snow here too, but it didn't set because obviously the floor was wet. So
oh yeah, no, ours is actually set. Yeah, ours is set, to be fair.
not too bad.
No, that's it. Yeah, so there's not enough range for any trade within this area. So good sells are going to be below 144,760. So we're going to be looking for sells. And you know, good buys are going to be above 144, let's just say 890. MY been getting all the moves. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I think we could see a good London session here this week. You know, so I'm just gotta be optimistic. And if it doesn't, you know, that's where you just have to or we have to kind of be more disciplined. You know, and be a lot more cautious with trades and etc. So GJ right now there's nothing, you know, because we tapped up into this high, we retraced, we closed back in the range. So yeah, there's nothing right now. So let's take a look at gold here for a sec. So these are the key levels that we had from last night's analysis. So yeah, right now it seems as though the Asian session moved price up overnight to make this high, and now we create support here in pre-London for this high to get retested. So let's neaten up our zone here. So now this becomes not a target, but this is a zone. So yeah, I think a good break above 1818, I think we could see price continuing bullish all the way up to 1825, 1826. Because if we take a look at the 4-hour time frame, right, we have bullish market structure. We've broken above the highs of the previous 4-hour candle, and if we can continue moving up, I mean, we have these wicks to fill. Looking on the 1 hour, yeah, we have this resistance here to the left, but once we start breaking above this area, I mean, we have a nice clean range at that point. It's like a 75 pip range. So yeah, probably gonna wait for something like this here too on gold. But GJ, I mean, yeah, we're gonna need a solid close above. Yeah, I mean, if this candle just runs up, I mean, there was no confirmation for these buys, so I mean, yeah, not really interested in the break of this high because yeah, probably
Morning, guys.
Morning. Probably gonna wait here.
You know that level you've got 145, 100.
Yeah.
What's that based off? Because like on my trading view, I haven't got like the premium versions. When I scroll back, it only lets me go back to 2nd of Jan 20.
Okay. So basically, this area is because when I look left, there's like a clean move, right, coming all the way up to 145, 600. But then I was like, okay, well, it doesn't really make sense that, okay, this is going to definitely be a clean range. Like, there's always going to be some form of issue area. And then as I look left, obviously 145 is a key level, and we haven't reached 145 yet. So that's why I've got this area. And then 145, 100 is when we look left, there was a wick. So if you have the clean traffic, let's just say these are the candles. You have clean candles coming down. There was a wick from like maybe the day before where it created a wick like that, and then it got filled. So as I was looking left, I was like, okay, well, this wick could be like an important price area, you know, from a previous time. So probably going to use that as like a target to the left, was my thought process there. So, I mean, looking at GJ now, I mean, it becomes very difficult at this point, because the 30-minute, it tried to break above, you know, it tapped into this high and it retraced, right? This 15-minute candle still open. If it breaks the high of the previous, like, there's a probability that we can continue moving up. There's a probability. But my issue is that, you know, this candle didn't have the volume to break above. So, I mean, part of me is thinking to just sit and wait over here, because this pullback makes sense, like, for us to pull back. But, I mean, the 30 minutes should have closed above if we were going to continue this move. And then, you know, but also the 1 hour is also coming to a close in like 18 minutes. So I think it's breaking the high on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, probably gonna sit this initial push out. I think I'm not trusting it right now. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can continue moving up, but there was not much confirmation. I would prefer this 30-minute to close above, and then, you know, we may get like a retest, and then for price to continue moving bullish. Because we have like 2 minutes left for the 50-minute candle to close. And then if this 50-minute candle can close bullish, you know, leave a little bit of a wick, and then the next one wicks down and then breaks the high, you know, we can anticipate in the second half of the 30-minute we're going to continue moving up. But right now, I think the best thing to do is to wait. The other thing as well is the last time we took buys above an area, you know, it was up to the 144 level. We had issues at the 144 level. We had a deep pullback because it was a key psychological level. And then we created support to continue higher up. So also going to keep that in mind. Well, looks like we're breaking up over here on GJ. Breaking above these wicks. Morning, folk. What do you think? What do I think about what? Well, I just kind of discussed what I think, because, you know, price, the last time we hit a key psychological level, so the last time we hit 144, if you look what happened, we bounced off this area because it is a key psychological level, and we get them impulsive sellers and buyers exiting the market because we're now at a new price, you know, a new high, You know, so this is where, you know, potential profit taking is going to be done. So I mean, if from what I think that you know, potentially if the next candle can do a retest, we can continue moving up. But part of me thinks, you know, I mean, yeah, we could see some rejections at the 145 level. So yeah, just kind of waiting here. Plus it's a Monday, and Monday is like my worst day. You know, Monday is my worst day that I have. So I want to try and keep this a good day, if that makes sense. So 15-minute candle closed bullish. It broke the high. It came up to these wicks, failed to break the wicks, but it did break the high. So we're getting a little bit of a retracement right now.
Do you say we could possibly see a rejection at 144 960, because the weekly rejected previously, and that was also a rejection on the daily from the 21st of February 2020, and it left like a fair good wick.
Yeah, it makes
to
sense.
the upside. That's like 35 pips.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is then, if we have rejections around 960, then we have a lot of rejections in this area, which then would make me want to potentially stay out of the buys. But from what I can see, I mean, if we break above the previous weekly high, I mean, it's still, I think 145 should be incoming, you know, and then 145, 100. But it's just the way that price reacted last time we reached, you know, like a key psychological level. We had that impulsive move back. So if we can even go back here to the 144 level. Is it over here? So we want to look left. Yeah, if you see the last time we... Similar thing. Look at this. Very similar structure. Do you see this? So 8:30 a.m. candle closed bullish, but it closed weak, right? But it did close above that area. The next one came down to break the low, moved up, impulsive, reached 144, 100, but then started to move bearish and then corrected that move, you know. So I mean, yeah, let's wait and see. What do you think, my chart? You have to send a chart for me to tell you what I think. I mean, yeah, if this 15-minute candle breaks the high of the previous 15-minute candle, there's a probability that we can continue moving bullish. There's a probability, but experience is making me want to stay out right now. Yeah, something's just not sitting right with me. Maybe just because what happened last time that we did something like this. It looks very similar structure. So I mean, yeah, part of me is thinking, you know, even if we fake out here on the 15-minute, then at least I know, okay, well, next time we come back above this area, now we could have the volume. So I suppose we just gotta wait and see how this candle closes. See what happens on the 15-minute. So yeah, sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but Prathib, if you want a chart sending, you need to click your camera. I don't know if you know how to do it, but you know, you need to scroll to the left, to the right, and you need to copy this code from where it says /x and then all the way to the other slash. Send it in the chat with a bit of writing, and then that's how it pops up on the YouTube. If you don't do it that way, it doesn't come up. So I mean, GJ is kind of like coming back in the range right now. So let's take a look at gold. Gold also tapped into that area, starting to retrace. So it's not bad. I think good gold buys are going to be above this area, 1818, because we need a retest on the higher time frames. Okay, let's do a quick breakdown here of Euro JPY, starting with the daily. So daily has moved up overnight to a resistance. So we've reached a resistance, and if we break this resistance on Euro JPY, then we could continue moving bullish to hit this next target area. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. So looking on the 4-hour, seems as though we broke above this resistance over here. So we created a support down over here, and now we are coming up. So we do have like a key level right over here. So I think EJ, if it's going to continue bullish, it should continue moving up to this 4-hour resistance, which is only like 10 pips away. But then if we feel the wick, it's like 30 pips away. Looking on the 1 hour. Also guys, keep an eye on GJ for me while I do this breakdown. Let's just check it out. What do we say? 4 hours. So 1 hour time frame. Looking on the 1 hour, we can see that we broke above this resistance, and then we had what's called a liquidity grab. So we had a 1 hour liquidity grab. We broke the low, and then we continued moving bullish. So we're kind of coming up. Yeah, it's very messy. It's very messy. But on the 1 hour, we are approaching another resistance. So basically, once we break above 127, 120, we have a nice clean range for buyers. It's like 13, maybe even 20 pip range, right? Because I'm sure if we go to the 30-minute, we're going to see a much cleaner range at that point. Yeah, I think a good target would be 127, 280 on EJ. Be nice, easy buys once we break above this resistance here to the left. So, I mean, right now, there's not a lot of range. But good buys on EJ would have been the break of this 30-minute high. And then, yeah, I don't know, not really enough range. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to wait to a break above this area for EJ to continue moving bullish. So, we've got 8 minutes left on GJ. Let's take a look at the 15-minute candle. Yeah, it's kind of done like a retest. So, I mean, if it does break the high, it does make sense for us to continue moving up. Let's... Got 8 minutes left for the 1 hour candle. Yeah, I mean, if we break the high of the previous 15-minute, I think we could continue moving bullish. But, yeah, I don't know. Something is just, you know, keeping me skeptical. Yeah, I mean, if we break the high, I think that could be a good opportunity for price to continue up. Because if we don't break the high, then it would make sense why we didn't continue. Because we created support over here on the 15-minute. We did a retracement back to like middle of the range, right? But yeah, I mean, right now price action is, you know, bullish. Look at GU. GU had some volume at 7:30, and it is approaching a resistance. So it's tapped into a resistance. So it would need to close above this area. Yeah. Ooh, we're retracing. We're coming back below this area. Yeah, see, I think since we're making lower lows on the 5-minute, I mean, yeah, we never broke the high over here. So I think the entry obviously would have been the break of the high if we were going to continue moving up at that point. Okay, let's check out this chart. Gold mine. Okay, GJ 15 minute. Today, no news. Trend bias. Daily, very bullish. Be careful because we are at previous monthly, weekly, daily with projection area. Nice. 4-hour price is rejected from the highs, but we're still long-term bullish. 1-hour price is showing multiple rejections at this level to possible move downward. I like this. I like this. This is very nice. Rejected MY session, rejection zone. Rejected Monday Asian Open, perfect. Rejected Asian close in a range. Expect price to break with momentum. Okay, so these are your sells below. Yeah, I like it. One form of positive criticism. We won't say criticism, but I will say advice is to number your steps, so you can see the first thing we rejected on Friday, the second thing we rejected an Asian, the third thing we rejected an Asian close, and then the fourth, that type of thing. But apart from that, it's pretty good. So it looks like we have come back in the range on GJ. So yeah, kind of glad that kind of waited here, because it does seem like we're just kind of ranging at this point. So yeah, and good sells are going to be below this area because there's not enough range in this area over here. There's not enough range. So good sells are going to be below 144.760, and I think we could take nice easy sells for price to continue down if it does do that. Okay, let's take a look at this chart for Prathib. Man, we got over ooh, wrong chart, as Roger likes to say. Let's try that again because it came up. Okay, let's try that. Nope, does not exist. Interesting. Okay, Prathib, you're gonna have to try again. There's no two ways around it. Let me try again once more. See if. Right, so you've got the X. Yeah, it looks right to me. Right, let's try one more time. No, okay. Sorry, Prathib. You're gonna have to try again. See if it gives you a different code. See if that works. Okay. Can you take a look at AUD USD? If you send the chart, Kingship, I can. But I don't think, in my opinion, AUD USD is gonna be the best pair to be trading right now. I don't think it's going to be the best pair to trade right now. So if we look at price, if this 15-minute candle closes above 144.890 and the 30-minute closes above 144.890, then there's an opportunity if London Open can wick down and then break the high of this bearish candle, that we can continue moving bullish. But we need the 30-minute to be closing above for me to want that to happen, because if the 30-minute candle closes above, I mean, then we have a candle close confirmation for price to continue moving up. But if we can't close above this area, then yeah, the buys become very difficult, and yeah, there's no buys really, to be completely honest. We are coming above this area, but we need the candle to close above, because the 30-minute candles attempting to close above. So yeah, I think a break of this high could be a good opportunity for price to continue moving up. But we need this candle to close above this area. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. The weekly has no bottom wick right now. I mean, yeah, it's not really the end of the world right now, because we could come back and do that at any point. You know, we can come do that any point. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting here. We've got 5 seconds. Yeah, see, it closed below this area. It closed below this area. The 15-minute time frame also closed below this area. I have to say, I'm not in favor of buys right now. The only confluence we have is the 1 hour closed above. That's the only confluence we have. But I mean, for me, because we could tap into 145 and then start to reject, I'm not sure if it makes sense for any buys right now. So yeah, probably gonna wait over here. Such messy price action again. Yeah, gonna wait. There's no buys right now for me. Let's take a look at GU. GU also retraced from that resistance. GU also retraced. GU's in this range over here. EURNZD is ranging. EURNZD is ranging. So we're gonna wait on that. EuroJPY retraced. Gold is also in this range here now. So we can remove this here on gold, because we have a minor support form right over here. So yeah, we had a bit of a pullback, but hopefully with volume, you know, we should continue moving bullish on gold. Looks like a dud London Open. Not much volume to start here, but sometimes it's a bit delayed. But if we start just running up, then I mean, it is what it is. You know, these two candles, they rejected this area. You know, although they were closing bullish, you know, they didn't have the volume to close above this area, so the buys did not make sense. London Open as well. If it pushes with volume, that's the time. Yeah and no. Yeah, it's the time of volume, but I mean, the two previous candles couldn't break above. So I mean, the only way we could take buys is if the 8 a.m. 30 minute, if that closes above this area. That would be the ideal situation for price to continue moving bullish. You have to click the camera on the top right of trading view. Yeah. Actually, my chart basically explains the same as Goldmine's chart, but I'm very much in favor of bearish. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, if we start to break below this minor support and we start heading towards this previous support, then yeah, I'm much in more favor of sells. But right now, we have to argue that the bias is still bullish based on the market structure overall. So yeah. So yeah, it seems like we got a bit of a lack of volume over here. But yeah, I'm eyeing these EN cells. I've been looking at these since last night, and the EN cells could work out beautifully below this area. Man, imagine I'm still getting people go onto my website and still send questions about options trading. It is getting so on my nerves. I mean, last night I was really considering, do I just change my name from HFX? I mean, it was that annoying, but I like the name so much, I'm gonna stick with it. Yeah. So looks like we're moving up over here. The 1 hour candle. So remember, the 1 hour candle closed above the 1 hour resistance. But for me, I don't think it's enough in this situation. Because if we take a look on the smaller time frames, you know, we were rejecting this resistance pretty hard. As we take a look on the 15 minute. Yeah, it's just pretty crap. Pretty poor price action. Don't change it. People are just dumb. Yep. Yeah, I don't want to change it, but it does get annoying because it's like, man, all the information that you need is right there. You know, you don't literally, like, all the information is there. So yeah, I'm not gonna change it, but it does get pretty annoying, you know, especially when it's like people are like, oh, what is HFX trading? How can I get involved? I'm like, man, you've come on the website and you haven't even read it, you know, but you took the time to scroll past all the information to write in the contact box, you know, but didn't even bother to read the big fat sign that says Forex Trading. You know, it's like, wow. I don't know, man. So it looks like 8 a.m. candle is breaking up over here. I mean, there's a possibility, yeah, since it's breaking the high, but just not really liking it. Personally, not liking it. The only confluence we have is the 1 hour candle closed above. The other confluence we do have is the 4 hour broke the high of the previous 4 hour. You know, if we look at the structure, it's kind of like a break and retest from the Asian session, but it's the smaller time frames that are keeping me at bay. You know, it's this you know, pre-London structure. You know, the way these two 30-minute candles failed to break above this area. If this candle just runs up, it's just one of those, you know. Then the trade was based off the 1 hour. But, you know, even if I was basing this trade off the 1 hour, you know, I'm still looking at the 30-minute to be like, okay, well, have we got any issues on the 30-minute? And then when you look at the 30-minute, you're like, oh, well, actually, 30 minutes still ranging because we're failing to break above this resistance. So maybe buys don't make sense. So yeah. Did you get any snow this weekend? Yes, it snowed last night. And it's currently snowing now. It's snowing now. Oh. Yeah, it's snowing now. It snowed last night. It hasn't. It's not as bad as last time or last week. It's not as bad as them. Like, it's not so thick, but I mean, yeah, it's set. To be completely honest, I wish it didn't snow. It's just kind of inconvenient, you know, like causes a lot of the snow causes a lot of issues, you know. Like last week, I was telling one of the guys from the group that last week when I was driving through the snow, so I was coming down my road, and at the bottom of my road is like a hill. It's like a small hill, and usually it's not so icy. You know, usually it's not really icy because they usually grit it. But this year they didn't grit the road, which I didn't really know. But I mean, yeah. So I'm driving down, And obviously, I mean, I don't know any of you that drive or have tried to drive in snow or even ice, but I mean, yeah, it's pretty difficult, right? And so, as you know, with snow, the most dangerous thing about snow is once your tires don't grip the road, or when your brakes don't work, it becomes very dangerous, because basically you have no control at that point. You have no control of your car. You don't. So I'm coming down the hill, and I'm going slow, right? I'm going a lot slower than I usually would, because, you know, I understand it's the weather conditions. So, you know, I felt confident, like, okay, well, we're going slow. There's no reason for any concern, right? Because I'm being very cautious. Like when I'm like, oh, well, price isn't moving right, so we've got to be cautious. So I was being cautious, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it a little bit extra room to brake for this junction, because, you know, it's, again, the downhill is icy. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I put my foot on the brake, and, I mean, immediately everything locked up. The wheels locked up, the brakes locked up. I mean, it was just like complete panic mode. So the car was just sliding down. I'm literally putting all my force onto the brake. It's not doing anything. So, I mean, I could just see the junction getting closer. And mind you, this is on the downhill. This is a main road. So I'm like thinking, shit, this could be the end. This could be the end of HFX here. But no, anyway, I'm getting like maybe 2 meters away from the junction at speed. And I make the decision. I pull up the handbrake. I spin the wheel. And anyway, I managed to stop right at the junction, but my car was facing parallel at this point, so I completely basically spun the car around. But it was the only way I could do it without the car keep sliding onto the main road. I mean, that would have been pretty fucked. I mean, I would have pretty much gone head to head with another car on the main road. So yeah, it was pretty scary, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Like, and that's, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of put me off driving in the snow when that happened. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, so there's a little story for you. Yeah, managing risk, I like that one. Yeah, I had to manage my risk, had to pull out the emergency stop loss or break even, so I pulled up the handbrake. Yeah, it was an experience, we'll say. Fast and Furious 8, yeah. Yeah, definitely Fast and Furious 8. Should have made a film. So we got 2 minutes left for this 15-minute candle to close. It does seem like it's trying to break above, but there's a lot of lack of volume here. Let's take a look on the 5 minute. 5 minute, yeah. I mean, we could start breaking up at this point, but for me, I just feel like this is bad price action, you know. And my only issue is if we do reach 145 and then we have issues, then I would be glad I stayed out of this trade. But if this wasn't there and we had nice clean candles, and I was like, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I mean, a break of these highs would make sense, you know, and then we can continue moving up. But just, yeah, I think I'm happy to miss this move, you know, because it doesn't really, it's a Monday, and with the week we had last week, I mean, it was just a dreadful week for price action. So I think it's pretty important to start the week how you mean for it to end. So if we start here disciplined, we're patient, then, you know, we could get paid. Especially if we start to reject and we do get nice confirmation for sales later on, that would be beautiful. But I mean, if you entered in based off the 1 hour, I mean, you would have been floating for a whole hour, like just at 3-4 pips profit. I mean, oh. Yeah, exactly, Selim. I think, I mean, look, I mean, if we do start to reject 145, then, you know, we could wait for like a support or something to form, you know, down over here, and then it would make more sense. But let's take a look, because how much we want to bet this candle closes with no wick. Oh, it did close with a wick. Haha, cheeky. Yeah. So, I mean, if we look at it now, we can see, what we can see is that this candle, so we had resistance right over here, right? So we can see how we rejected this area, and then we had a candle coming up to close back above that area. We had a candle closing at this area, but the 30-minute closed below. Now we have a 15-minute candle closing back bullish. So if we look, we're just consolidating in this range, right? And in normal circumstances, I would say, okay, wait for us to surpass these highs and then execute for price to continue moving up. That's what I would say. You know, if we say the 8 a.m. candle has closed bullish on the 15-minute, then it does make sense for like the overall 8:30 candle to continue moving up. But you would want this candle to break the high of the previous 15-minute, and then I think there is an opportunity for a push up. There is an opportunity, but for me, I'm not sure if it's gonna be you know, a good move here this morning. Just, yeah, see, the problem we also have is just this area, you know, because, yeah, I mean, we've got 13 minutes for the 30-minute candle to close, and what we may find is that the 30-minute candle closes above, but we have this range here, and if the 30-minute candle closes above and we have a range, then it becomes very difficult, because you also want to see smaller time frames trending. So what we may find is, let's say the 30-minute closes like somewhere over here, you would want to wait for maybe like a break of this high, and then that's a better confirmation. And I think that would be better, because then we can kind of argue, oh, look at this candle, look at this candle, wow, delicate. Yeah, very, very pleased to stay out of this mess. Oh yeah, we're breaking the low of the previous 15-minute. I believe that means the 30-minute candle is flipping bearish at this point. Yeah, see, this was a very, very difficult situation, but I'm very glad we managed to identify this was not a time to be taking a trade. So now we can see prices retracing, and yeah. Oh, we're breaking the lows over here. Yeah, there's not enough range for sells to this support. For me, there's not enough range. You know, if people are looking for sells, since we started breaking the low of the previous 30-minute, I mean, it's a good opportunity for price to definitely continue down to this area. But for me, I mean, sells are going to be below 144.760. But yeah, this is just beautiful. It's just retracing now. And you know what? This is kind of good, because if we think about it, this means we don't have to have that stress that, okay, we may not continue up, we may have rejections. So if we are just rejecting without confirmation, I mean, that's perfect, because that may mean we don't need to take a trade at this point, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking for sells below this support. I think that's gonna be really
a big
nice.
drop, that is.
Yeah, I mean, truly the range is a 36 pip range, you know, truly. But I want to be, again, you know, being cautious with targets. We can see this was a previous support, so I'm thinking this is going to be the target there for sells. But that's just a big ass drop, because I know there was some people that got in buys because this candle closed back bullish. I know there was some, but it never broke the high. So there was the reason why this buys didn't play out. And if we look, the free 30 minutes, they all failed to break this wick to the left. So yeah, I think beautiful sells are going to be below this area. You know, we could see, you know, there's plenty of options as price is moving bearish. You know, you just have to wait to see what you want to see print. You know, because if this candle closes at support, and then we get a situation You know, like maybe where we get like a weak bullish candle close is something that we see happen. You know, it's like a weak bullish candle close, a nice wick up, little wick to the bottom. And then again, we always look for this kind of structure, you know, that continuation, price breaking the lows, right? And then respecting the high right over here. That's your sell right there. And then for price to continue moving down. You know, that's what we're kind of aiming for here for sells. Yeah, or we range, because we ranged last week. But there is a little bit of volume in this candle, so it's kind of promising that we could have some volume in the session, right? So, gold is retracing back to the support. So I think we can kind of remove this over here. Yeah, so gold is in a 1 hour range, 4 hour range. So yeah, I think, you know, even gold sells below this area makes sense. Because if you think about it, the reason I had this area as a target was because on the higher time frames, this is a retest zone, you know. But when price is in heavy momentum, usually we get around a 50% correction. So that would make sense if we start to break this support, because then it would, you know, support the idea that this move up before the weekend was a 50% correction, and now we're going to continue with the trend. Looking at GU. Ooh, GU trying to break down over here. So this would be the target for GU, but it's not really a big range, I don't think. No. And then for more sells is going to be this area for GU. Let's take a look at Euro NZD. Oh, Euro NZD is trying to move bullish. So yeah, we're looking at sells, but I mean, if you get confirmation for buys, I mean, it is what it is. But better buys are going to be above this resistance, because then we have a nice clean range at that point. So probably going to want to wait for that. See how we get on here. Euro JPY is continuing up. I think good buys are going to be above 127, 115. We caught you heard it here first. Spoke about that at the start of the stream. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting here now. Yeah. See, I'd much rather wait for the sells on Euro NZD, because what can happen is, you know, Euro NZD can close above and then it does a fake out and then it continues in the other direction. So that's something I'm also going to be looking at, because the bias is strong bearish from the higher time frames. But there's no reason to say, well, we can't move bullish. I mean, if we do go bullish, then we do have this wick to fill on the daily, right? Which would then support the idea that buys above 1.67400 are going to be much better, because then we have this whole wick to fill at that point. But there was a lot of yeah, there was kind of like a lot of issues with buys for me, so that's why I was looking for nice easy sells. You know, clean range on the 4 hour, clean range on the 1 hour, clean range on the 30 minute. Man, what is going on? Another tough day for the London session, but yeah.
To be fair, it will be interesting to see if this 15-minute will close above the 144, 840. To see if that was just like a liquidity grab, but it doesn't really look like that good, because I like to see a liquidity grab on a 5 minutes, because then you know that you've got a lot of volume and the price is just tapping, you know, the support, and then it falls back to your direction.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That makes sense. I see what you're saying, because then this was support from the late Asian, and if we close above, then this would just be a move back to get, you know, more buyers and then continue moving up. So I would agree, but then if that's gonna happen, if we do stay above this, let's draw this here. If we do stay above this minor area, right, then that would suggest to me, then we would have to wait still, because we would need.
Yeah.
We would need that close above this area now for us to continue moving up, because otherwise we would just be completely ranging at that point. And when London session ranges, that's when a lot of people get caught out in, you know, taking 1, 2 impulse trades. So
Yep, I agree.
yeah, so we're just kind of gonna have to wait and see what happens here. So we've got 5 minutes left for the 30-minute and the 15-minute candle to close. Did the mid candle close bearish or bullish? I think you mean the 15-minute. The 15-minute candle is still open. The 15-minute candle is still open, so it will be closing in 4.5 minutes. 30-minute candle also closing in 4.5 minutes. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with Salim. If we do reject, let's say, this support, right, and we actually start closing back above this area, then I mean, it does make sense then for now. Okay, well, if we do get a solid close above, then we can continue with the bullish bias, and this would just be a London Open pullback, big liquidity grab, stops all the people out who were trying to take buys over here, and then we go again with the nice continuation. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be, you know, certain things we need to see happen for that to make sense. Did the midnight, I meant the midnight candle. I mean, the midnight candle closed bullish. This is the midnight candle. Yeah, this is the midnight candle right over here. It closes bullish. But to be completely honest with you, like, I don't think that really matters. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. I mean, what you could argue is, okay, the Asian session moved up. That matters. But this one midnight candle, I mean, it's no help. So yeah, it does seem like we should close at the support over here. Is that a secret indicator? Yeah, maybe. See, the thing is, if this 30-minute closes below this area, the only way we could take sells is if we get a candle, you know, wicking up first back into the zone, and then as we start to break the low, for us to continue moving down. It's the only way we could take sells if this 30-minute candle closes below. What I'd rather is we close at support, we get a little bit of a retracement, and then we start to move down. Okay, we are going to get a bearish move. It means a lot. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not going to say much. I mean, yeah, we may get a bearish move because you're seeing 8 a.m. moving bearish. I don't see how. Alright, go on then. Let's check out another day then. Let's see if midnight candle. Okay, so February the 5th, midnight candle was bullish, but London session was also bullish. So, I don't know. A bit difficult. Let's go for another one then. So, midnight candle was bearish. Midnight candle was bearish. And in the London session, we had kind of like a range. Yeah, we had like a more of a bearish session because we just kind of ranged. And then it was actually MY that moved us up. But there you go. So we've got like a minute left here for this candle to close. Take a look on the 5 minutes. Yeah, we got a lot of volume for bears. We've got a lot of bearish momentum and volume here.
Yeah, within just that 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather not it close below this area, because then we have to like make like a you know, like maybe like a minor resistance. But yeah, I'd rather it close above, because then we can get like a weak candle, you know, like a weak bullish candle closing, or, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd rather this candle close above this area, because then we can also look at impulse entries if we break the 30-minute low as well, for price to continue down. It depends on the daily bias. I mean, look, if it works for you, mate, that's perfect. But I don't personally see how that would make a difference. So, perfect. So if we look at price now, the 30-minute candle is closed at support. So we would need this candle to wick up first, maybe do like a little retest. And then if we start to break the lows over here, I think there's an opportunity for price to continue moving down. You know, but I do want to see like a bit of a top wick first. You know, that's going to make the most sense.
I think a weak 15-minute would be nice, bullish candle.
Yeah, that would be nicer. That would be nicer, but we'll see, because if we're going to create a weak bullish candle, we should respect this low over here. But yeah, I'm not taking sells right over here, because, you know, where are you going to place stop loss? So, I mean, the only place you could place stop loss was based on the 5-minute structure, but I mean, yeah, I'm not looking to get into that right now. We need a proper confirmation here. It's a Monday. Although we spoke about the bullish bias, that does not mean that we're just gonna now go, okay, now since we moved down, we're gonna take sells straight away. Like, it doesn't quite work like that. We need confirmation for sells as well. Who knows? We could create support over here, right? Because now we have a clean candle. We could create support over here, and then the next one just comes back up to retest this high. You know, we don't know. So we need proper confirmations.
But you think GJ, but like by now, will be really exhausted, because we've had like a long run from last week, from Thursday, when we've had the interest rates. I mean, just on that day, we've had like a 160 pip move.
Yeah, it's a big move.
And to be fair, like after that move, I expected to have like a retracement or like a correction on that on that 4 hour. You know, where we broke all the resistance on the left.
Yeah.
I genuinely I did expect to see like some sort of like a retracement to then retest that high again, but that just didn't happen at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was a big ass move with the interest rates. I mean, I anticipated GJ to go bullish, but I did not anticipate, I mean, that big of a, you know, push up. But yeah. So did they speak about the negative rates at all? Did you listen to it, Salim, or?
Yeah. So basically, they kept rates the same because they want to have like some money to play with, basically, because numbers have been better than expected. So they wanted to keep them the same. There was like no need to, you know, implement the negative interest rates if the economy is doing well. So they want to like play a bit with that money rather than having no money. But I think that they still have it on mind, and they've told like banks to be prepared for it. But that doesn't mean it's just gonna happen. It just depends on how the recovery is happening.
Yeah. I'm not too sure if they're gonna bring the negative rates in or not, but could make sense. So yeah, it looks like this candle's retracing. I mean, nearly all of this, well, not nearly all, but nearly half of this previous 30 minutes. So yeah, I think we need to maybe see like a weak bullish candle. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna need to see here. That's probably what we will see, if that's what's gonna happen, you know. But at the same time, I was just looking at the 1 hour, and I was like, okay, well, this also could be a liquidity grab on the 1 hour. So I mean, I think we still got a lot of time to be patient. You know, the 4 hour is still open, so there's a lot. I mean, the daily's bullish, right? The daily just moved up, so it would take a lot for this daily to flip. You know, that would be quite a lot of volume needed for that to happen. But I think it really depends, like, how this candle, like, sets up, you know, because yeah, I mean, technically it needs to kind of respect this area in order for us to continue down. You know, that's kind of like the condition there. Do you go live in the New York session? No, that's for that is for, I don't know if you know him, but you probably do. That's for Raja Banks, or I think he changed it. Well, I don't know if he changed it on YouTube or not, but on his Instagram it's now Raja instead of Wix Don't Lie. But you might know him as Wix Don't Lie. But yeah, if you, oh yeah, he's not here this week. I think a couple people from Market Fluidity are gonna be doing a live stream for the NY session. So, but yeah, no, we don't do live session. We don't do live in New York. Did price run the stops in the Asian session? I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Run the stops. I mean, a stop is a stop loss, and I mean, yeah, you need to be a little bit more specific there. Oh, okay, you know him. Yeah. I think he's back on Wednesday, but yeah.
You know, see, there's one thing I find it really helpful where, like, you know, when the price is ranging, or like when there isn't like enough volume. So like if you go in a 1 hour, it makes it easy for you to stay out of the trade, because then you do look at that massive wick and you think that could be a liquidity grab. But because we've got less volume, if we had more volume, we'd be looking at it like on 5 minutes. But because we've got less volume, that means the price is reacting slowly. So then that could mean that's just a liquidity grab on the 1 hour. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. So basically what you're saying is, because if we look on the smaller time frame, we're like, oh, it's just ranging. But now we're like, okay, 1 hour time frame is starting to retrace. Looks like a liquidity grab. So yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, if this 1 hour closes like a week bearish, I mean, then we could be seeing like a later breakout with London, you know, because remember, we get volume in the London session coming all the way up to like, you know, 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. Even as we come into pre-New York, we could see the volume around 11:30 a.m. So yeah, I would agree with you. I would 100% agree with you. I mean, since this 30-minute is now pretty much retraced, I'd say around 70% of this candle, I think there's no sells. How can we have sells when this candle is being retraced so much? You know, structure on the 5 minute. See, if we look at structure on the 5 minute, we pulled back to this area, right? And we had a little bit of like a consolidation, and now we're breaking up again, you know. So we could see this is like a common theme when price is moving up, when we're like, oh man, it's rejecting, you know, now we need to look for sells. I mean, yeah and no, because that liquidity grab on the 1 hour has begun based off, if we go to the 5 minute, and as you see the 5 minute candle, right, closing above this resistance, this minor resistance, this is the wick being retraced, you know. So yeah, it kind of makes sense, because we had support over here and now we're moving up, you know. This is a high at the end of the day. This is a high. Despite the rejections, this is still a high that's been created. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because like when you look on gold, because obviously gold is very volatile, so you can't really, you know, it becomes difficult to take trades on gold like based on a 30-minute or a 1 hour. That's why you have to go down to the 15-minute and execute based on a 5 minutes, because there is a lot of volume. Like within just 5-minute candle, you can see like a 30, 20, 30, even 40 pip move. So I think because obviously it's got more volume, so the more volume there is to the pair, the better lower time frame could be on favor in terms of execution if you want to keep stop losses, small.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Gold is very, very volatile. I mean, it just doesn't quite work the same way as like GJ would. But yeah, it looks like GJ is potentially going to do a liquidity grab on the 1 hour, which does suggest to me that, I mean, we could start to move bullish over here soon. We could start to move up, because imagine if this 30-minute closes at resistance, right? Then I would argue, okay, if the next 30-minute wicks down and then breaks the high, I mean, we could start to break these highs and then continue moving up. So there's always something to think about.
Yeah.
But we do need to wait for the 1 hour to close. Otherwise, we can't determine yet if it's a liquidity grab. The other thing I was just looking at was Euro NZD. I mean, the 30-minute closed above over here. So if Euro NZD does a fake out, then I'm keeping that sells bias in the back of my mind. I'm really eyeing these sells. Yeah, I am eyeing these sells on Euro NZD if we start to break below the support. From the higher time frames, it's just, yeah, it's going to be easy sells below that area. You got to plan. Gold seems like it's going to try and break this support over here, so we'll see. Okay, let's focus on GJ here for a minute. Okay, a couple questions. Could sell stops and buy stops? Okay, I'll read your next comment in a sec. Could you explain what a liquidity grab is? Yes, I'll explain what a liquidity grab is. So a liquidity grab is a situation where we can kind of argue like it's a little bit like market manipulation. You can kind of view it that way, because then if you view it that way, you're going to want to stay out when you see it happening. So, I mean, basically, let's say price is moving bullish. Let's say candles are moving bullish. And when candles are usually moving bullish, when we see the candles moving up, there's a rule, right? They usually respect each other's lows. Because when the candle opens at the high, there's always a lower wick created, and then if the candle's going to move up, it has to break the high and whatnot. So it's fairly easy to identify. If we look at these candles here from the Asian session, we can see moved up, respected the low, so we can easily identify that. A liquidity grab is where we'll get a bullish candle that does something like this. So we see a candle that wicks down, let's say below these lows like this, and then starts to drive up. That is what we would class as a liquidity grab, because on the smaller time frames, I mean, I can't really draw how it's going to look, but on the smaller time frames, it's going to be like bearish candles coming down, and then it's going to have a little bit of consolidation, and then you're going to see bullish candles correct that downside move. That's what it's going to look like on the smaller time frame. But on the higher time frames, all we see is this big ass wick. So when we go to the 1 hour right now, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like all bullish candles, for example, on this 1 hour chart that we're about to pop up, we can see this is a liquidity grab, because you see the structure is bullish, right? Market structure is bullish. These candles all were moving up. This candle broke above this area on the 1 hour, and then what we see is because we are so this is resistance, and the bias was bullish because we broke above, and then this whole wick becomes a liquidity grab, because we came down, we got below all these support levels, right? And then now we're retracing back above. So this is what we class as a liquidity grab. So what that means is that this is liquidity being generated, that as prices come into a deeper level, this is where more buyers are basically entering into the market. That's what a liquidity grab is. So you can say that price is manipulated down for them, buyers to come and buy it back up. You can say that, like, it's not quite like proven in that way, but I mean, it is market manipulation, because otherwise, if there was buyers, we would just go straight bullish. But when we move down to go up, yeah, it's a little bit like manipulated over there. So I mean, yeah, that's what we're kind of looking at here. Okay, let's read this next comment. So in the Asian session, it was just range and building up orders. Yeah, I mean, late Asian ranged, but I mean, market open moved bullish, which is like sort of pre-Asian moved bullish, and then yeah, we did consolidate. Then price fake to go up, take the buy, stops, and move lower. Price is returning back to the block of orders before going lower. I mean, I don't think it's going lower. I mean, you had that idea, but I mean, look at this. This 30-minute candle has basically corrected that whole 8 a.m. candle. I would disagree with you now. I would disagree. I don't see us coming down unless we start to break below the support. You know, why would this candle basically correct this whole bearish candle if we had bearish volume? You know, clearly we don't, because we have bullish volume again. But then we don't have enough bullish volume because we're still ranging. And look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour is now closing back above this area. So there's still a way bullish bias on the higher time frames because we're closing above this area. If we respect this area, then, you know, we could create a little bit of support here and then continue moving up. You know, so yeah, I disagree. We spoke about the condition for sales because we came to a support does not mean that we're going to continue that move down. We never broke the low. We now went straight bullish. You know, we can look on the 5 minute. We can clearly see bullish candles printing. So yeah, for me, there's no sells right now. In fact, there's no buys or sells really because we're just ranging on the 30 minute. So yeah, just gonna wait. You just gotta wait. What made you draw that top key level on GJ? So the reason I've drawn out a level at 145 is because this is definitely an area where you want to be securing the profits, right? This is the area you definitely want to be securing profits because 145 is a key psychological level. We haven't reached this area yet, you know, in the coming months or most recently. So I mean, this is kind of these levels where you could see like pullbacks, you know, that type of thing. So that's why I'm kind of keeping this area in mind. The same thing happened to me 2 weeks ago when we hit 144. You know, we hit 144 and then price just completely retraced. You know, it completely retraced. So that is why. 145 100. The reason we have this is because this, I believe, was a wick to the left from a previous price. So this is like a considered a key price level. So yeah, that's kind of why. We are pushing into Asia highs, which will take us down to 144.60. I mean, I'd love it to take us down to 144.60, but yeah, I mean, yeah, look, we can still head bearish, like, because we're still just ranging. You know, candles haven't closed yet, but just from what I've seen, you know, the 30 minute, it came all the way back to this area, and if it does close up at this zone, let's say the 30 minute does close up at this resistance, then I don't see any sells. I don't see any sells. I mean, right now we're just ranging, so there's no trade right now. But yeah, I mean, once we start breaking below 144.760, I agree with anyone who says sells. Yes, I completely agree. And then I think, yeah, 144.600 will be a beautiful target for sells. But I want this 30 minute to close like a week, a bullish. That would work. If this 15 minute candle can close something like this, right, at support, that also would make sense. That also would make sense because then the next one should wick up and then start to break the lows, you know. And then we'd also look at, okay, that could also be a break of the low on the 30 minute time frame, and then, you know, price should continue down. Yes, that is when I'm like, okay, now we have sells. But you know, when candles still open, when you see a big bullish candle retracing the whole 8 a.m. volume candle, you know, you don't want to anticipate anything at that point. You just need to stick to what you can see, and we can see prices ranging. So now, as candles print in the way that we want them to, yes, now we can start to look for a trade at that point. So if this 15 minute candle does close somewhere down over here, then 100% we can start to agree that, you know, sells are in play. To balance out the order flow, right. I don't know about all that, man. I mean, yeah, I get what you're trying to say. You know, no disrespect. I get what you're trying to say. I think you got the right idea, and it may work for you. But just the way that I trade, I don't kind of view it that way. You know, I just focus on the candles and the price action. But if there's something you've seen in the Asian session and you're like, okay, that kind of works for me, then that's perfect. You know, I think that's fantastic. You know, I don't want to disregard anything anybody else does. But I just want to make sure we're getting good confirmation. So look at this 15-minute. If it does come down to this area, exactly what we've been talking about and anticipating, you know, just as I drew it out, then yeah, I think sells could be in order. You know, we've got 9 minutes left for the 30-minute candle to close. If it can close weak, that's going to be beautiful. I mean, if it breaks the low, yeah, it's kind of like a bit difficult. Because, yeah, I think we're going to need to wait for this 15-minute candle to close. If it can close at support, I think we're going to have really nice sells here today. Always safe with 10 pips. Yeah. Yeah, 145 is 10 pips away above this range. So that's also 10 pips. But, you know, we could tap into this area, reject, create support. And I don't really want to be sitting in drawdown or, you know, just kind of chilling in a trade for a long time. You want to be in and out. I want to be in and out, and yeah, that's kind of going to be, yeah, exactly. So let's see how Euro NZD is moving. Yeah, see, Euro NZD, it just seems like it's struggling. May need a support over here for Euro NZD to continue moving up, but I'm just waiting to see if we range or we do start to break this support over here. GU. Looks like GU's trying to move bearish though. Ooh, look at that. GU, we had the confirmation that we looked for, that we want to see on GJ, happened on GU. It's moved around 6 pips. Yeah, GU should continue moving bearish over here. It's exactly, we should have been paying attention. Well, I don't really trade GU, but I mean, if we start to, yeah, I'm still just watching it at the moment. But that type of thing, that makes sense to me. You know, this structure makes complete sense to me. And this could be translated across many, many pairs. You know, stops would have been around 9 pips. You had 6.5 in the bag. You know, you're anticipating price to continue down. So we'll see how GU plays out. Yeah, once this 5-minute breaks the low over there, it's gonna be good. Ooh, looks like gold's trying to break down over here. 30-minute candles trying to close below the support. If gold can stay below 1810, I mean, we should head right back down to maybe like 1800 or 1801. What's the stop loss on gold? It's like a 30 pip stop for like a 90 pip reward if we can continue down. Okay, let's wait and see. We're also waiting on GJ. Euro JPY is just kind of consolidating. Euro NZD needs to make a support to continue moving up. GU, oh, GU, beautiful. It's going to continue down over here. Yeah, it's 10 pips right at this area. Yeah, I think GU sells with the play here for Monday. So, in terms of the entry would have been right over here. It was kind of like what we're looking for in GJ. You know, stops would have been above this area. As price is moving into profits, you know, you can start to bring your stop loss above the current candle at that point. And then yeah, TP's down over here. So we'll see how the GU sells play out. But that would have been real nice. Gold trying to continue down. GJ is just ranging. I mean, we can't really say anything. Go on, go on.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I was going to say, I seen an article about a couple of days ago about banks that haven't finished, moving the asset to the EU, because there is about 810 billion euros,
Right.
and that's like a capital market, that's like asset related, and that meant to be moved to ECB, like the Europe Central Banks, and
Yeah.
that hasn't still taken place. So that can kind of like make some moves in the market, because that's a lot of money to be moved out of the UK.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
this is something to
100%.
keep an eye on.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like London session is having some like liquidity issues though at the moment in terms of volume.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know whether they're already starting doing the process, and that's why we're not seeing a good volume on the London Open. And then, like, we do see some sort of like a nice play out on the NY session. But like, that's the thing. We don't know whether they're just gonna move this money all at once, or if they're actually already moving it,
Yeah.
slowly. If you know what I mean. We
Yeah, I
just
know what you
don't know
mean.
what's happening behind the doors.
Yeah, I'm not sure to be completely honest. I have no clue about that. But I mean, I would argue that, just from like common sense perspective, if there's assets that need, like liquidating or moving, then that's going to affect to some extent volume and institutional trading, maybe on like not pause, but like less, because they want to wait and then they can reinvest. So yeah, I'm not really sure,
Yeah, true.
but it does make sense. That does make sense. So yeah, gold does seem like it's trying to close below. Now GU, see, the thing with GU is, see, if I was in those cells and price continued down 7 pips and then it's pulling back to my entry, I'm probably closing out at break even, to be completely honest. Because when we see these times of volume, when the candle's breaking the low like that, you're really expecting the candle to continue down. It doesn't work every time, but there's a high probability with those type of setups. So yeah, I'd at least be closing 50% if we're coming back to the entry, just for anyone who maybe was in GU cells. At least closing 50% back at the entry, because you had 7 pips in profit. Yeah, looks like EN, sorry, maybe coming back in the range. This is exactly what I was talking about. We could see a fake out on EN, and then we start to come down, break below these supports, and then continue down. That is something I'm waiting for here. GJ, I just can't say anything, but it's ranging. Even the 1 hour would be then closing back below this area if we close the way we are. And even on the 30-minute, it's not like we're closing weak bullish. It's not like we're just completely ranging. So yeah, is what it is. Sorry, Josh. Do you use any indicators or EMAs, or just price action and support resistance levels? Yep. Clean charts. No EMAs, no indicators, nothing. Pure price action. Yeah, gold cells look really nice as well. The only thing is we have an issue area, maybe like only 27 pips away. GU I think will go down to close the gap between 1.36975 and 1.36940. Yeah, I think GU's going to continue down 100%. The gap. Oh, I see. From the market open to 69. Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that, but we need this 30-minute to close below the support for that to be valid. I mean, these sells looked really good, but it seems like a lack of volume there. Otherwise, we should have continued moving down. 7 pips and then a retrace is pretty difficult, pretty tough situation. But yeah, as long as the 30-minute candle closes below, let's say you had 50% of your position left running, then it would still be valid at that point because the 30-minute would be closing below that area. So it looks like GU's got volume, but GJ seems like it's got real lack of volume. So let's see how it closes. I don't think it's a weak enough candle for me. I think we're just kind of ranging. I mean, yeah, there is an opportunity if we break the low. Potentially, if we start to break the 30-minute low, but that's about it because then at least we'll be breaking below 144.760. But apart from that, I mean, yeah, we're just kind of like ranging here. I agree. Good to take partials. Yeah, 100%. The other thing as well is when price is moving into profits and then it pulls back to your entry. You want to be cautious of risk as well. Just because, like, the one thing I hate is going into profits and then when you see price now going into a drawdown, that's yeah, it's not the best feeling. So to kind of help with the psychology, it feels good to be able to take part off the trade when you come back to your entry, because then you're like, okay, if I'm in drawdown, at least it's not as much as it was going to be had I've left the full position open. That's just kind of how I feel most comfortable. So, still just waiting. May even be another New York session breakout. Just have to see what the NY session brings later on if we can't break below. But yeah, I think good sells would be below this this 30-minute low, but the only issue is that the stop loss would have to be above the current candle high, so it's a little bit risky. It's a lot riskier than your average entry at that point. I wanted to go make tea, but so yeah, 15-minute candles already retracing on gold. So how did the 1 hour candle close on GJ? Yeah, see, the 1 hour actually not a liquidity grab now. This is not a liquidity grab, and the reason why is because it did not respect this area to the left. It closed back in the range. So it is not a liquidity grab at this point. Yep, Euro NZD done the fake out. Exactly what I was thinking would happen with Euro NZD. So since price done a fake out, there's a probability that we'll reach the end of the support. Now this is like 15-16 pips away, which isn't, it's not an amazing range. The other thing as well is we could kind of stall within this range. So since we're doing the fake out, I'm now saying, okay, since we're doing a fake out, we didn't have the volume at that point to continue bullish. So now if we start to break below this support, now there's a probability that Euro NZD should continue moving bearish on the higher time frames. Fake out, and then we have the support over here. We should reach this support, break down, maybe create resistance, and then continue moving down. So sells below this support are going to make the most sense. And then we should see a nice move here on Euro NZD for the day. But I mean, if you really wanted to, you could take sells on the fake out. Keep stops above this area. This would be your first target, and then your runner is when we start to break below. But yeah, I haven't traded UNZD like long enough to be able to trade a fake out on it. I'd rather see us break the support, to be honest. Wow, look at GU, man. Yeah, GU breaking the highs, back in the range at this point. Very difficult situation there. I think I'm going to run and make a quick drink because we're just kind of consolidating right now. But just so people don't get all frustrated, if we start breaking the low on the 30 minute, I think that could be a good opportunity for price to continue down. So that's all I'm going to say for now. But yeah, I'm going to go make a quick drink because I am thirsty as anything. So yeah. Looks like Euro JPY is finally closed bullish on the 30-minute time frame after time of consolidation. So yeah, once again, we spoke about EJ, and the best opportunity for EJ is going to be once we break above this resistance. And then you have a nice, fairly clean range at that point. Yeah, no, it should hit the top of this range. It's like a 16 pip range. But yeah, it seems like we have a lot of lack of volume here with GJ to some extent. Or maybe I won't go make a drink, because we could have sells incoming if we break this low, expecting price to continue moving bearish.
Yeah, I'm quite liking these sells if we break the low.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more risky because the stop would have to be above the current candle. But then what you're kind of saying is, okay, well, this 15 minute, right? The condition is this 15 minute would need to then close below. You know, the first 15 minute would then need to close below. Or, you know, a really good outcome as well could be the 15 minute closes at this area. So the first half. And then we look at the 30 minute and we're like, okay, we're at this area. So if the 15 minute then breaks the low of that 15 minute, and then the 30 minute also starts to surpass the low, we've got like two confluences that we have more bearish volume, you know. But we need this low to get broken for us to continue down. 45 main closing soon. Yeah, I don't look at the 45 minute though, so don't. Yeah, I'm not worried about the 45 minute candle. So EJ is trying to continue moving up. Oh, looks like GU is also trying to continue down. Looks like a little bit of a liquidity grab there on the 15 minute. So, yeah, a bit difficult. That was a very difficult situation on GU. Man, it is cold out today. Anybody else had snow hit in the UK?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's snowing right now.
Yeah, same for me.
Man, why is it snowing? To be honest with you, I don't want it to snow. Snow's just like awkward, you know?
Yeah, it's not good in the UK. We don't really have the facilities to cope with it.
Nah, that's it. Yeah, and it's funny, they always seem to grit the road after the snow. And it's like,
I know, yeah.
I'm like, man, what are you doing? It's like I see them out like gritting, and it's like, did you get the weather report? Did you see this? Did you go outside last night? But yeah, some parts of the UK have got heavy, but I mean ours isn't too bad. I mean mine's not too bad, you know. Lots of snow. Yeah, snow. So a few people got some snow. And wind. Oh, I hate cold wind. Yeah, it definitely seems like GJ can continue moving bearish. Certainly does feel that way. Especially since we've got 5 minutes left, right, for this 15-minute candle to close. And if it does close at this area, and that's the first half of the 30-minute, then, I mean, as the next one starts to break the low, I mean, it could make sense for us to continue down at that point. But probably going to want to wait for the 30-minute low to get broken. And then we should take sales, should have a good start to the week, I'm hoping, and yeah, should be good, should be good. That's what I'm looking for here today. That's going to be, I think that's going to be the one trade for today. If we break this low, we should have nice easy sells. Ooh, so we're coming down over here, we're breaking the lows. Slowly edging towards the break of the lows. Yeah, I mean, at worst way, as long as the 15-minute candle closes at this area, I think it's going to be a good move here. We've seen this structure a lot. You know, as candles are coming down to a low point, they kind of close at this area, and then usually we get one candle that just breaks the lows and then continues moving down, you know. So we always get the most snow. It comes across from Scandinavia. Wow. Yeah, I think they said it's like storm something or other. There's a storm or whatever. But yeah, no one likes the snow. Well, that's not true. People do like snow, but some certainly don't. I'm actually not that keen on snow. Used to love it as a kid, but it's just kind of inconvenient now. Yeah, so the reason I'm liking these sells, because then the 15-minute should be closing at this support. But if we do break the low first, what we may find is the 15-minute closes above. But if it doesn't, that's still fine. But if we break the low, that's the entry. You know, it's in the second half of the candle. So, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, because what we might find is this 15-minute candle kind of closes at this area. We get a little bit of a pullback with the next 15-minute. And then we should start to break the low over here. And the good thing about that is then if it does just close at this area, we don't get entered in early. We don't get a little bit of drawdown, you know, and then we should catch like the momentum push, you know, as we start to break the low. So I'm kind of hoping here, unless we run in the last minute or so. Yeah, I think the other reason I hate the snow as well is because right now in my cabin it is freezing. I mean, I've got this heater going and it's like it's making no effect. Seriously, it's having no impact.
Do you put on extra layers, do you, when you go in there?
Oh, 100%. I could not come here first thing in the morning in just a like a t-shirt. Oh yeah, I got these like what are they called? They're not like pajamas, but they're like very thick, soft clothing. I don't know. I got them from Primark, and they absolutely do the job. Yeah, no, I don't come out and trade in my pajamas, but I mean, yeah, just I need these warm clothes, man. Man, when I get my own yard, it's going to be so easy. You know, I'm going to have my own room. I can even have it in my room. You know, have all my desk and everything. So it won't be so bad. But, yeah, right now, it's just not kind of viable. So here we go. We got like 15 seconds left for the 15-minute candle to close. Oh, we're breaking the low over here. Hopefully we don't with 10 seconds left. Yeah, hopefully we don't actually. Hopefully we close below. So I think the 15-minute candle is going to close below. Or did it? Let's take a look here quick. Oh, we're breaking the lows. Are we breaking the low? But at least I think the 15-minute candle closed below that area. No, it closed at. This is good. So if the next candle can wick up a little bit and then start to surpass these lows, I think that could be good opportunity for sells. Oh, we're coming down over here. Oh, we're in. Got slipped a little bit.
Yeah, me too. That was that happened quick.
Yeah, fuck it.
Where's your entry?
So my entry is at I think 741, I believe.
I'm on 743.
Damn. Yeah, we got slipped a little bit there. Let's take a look. Yeah, we should create a little bit of a top wick and then start to move bearish at that point. Yeah, it's a shame about that little slippage, but we should continue moving bearish now. I think we should. Just want to make sure this candle starts to flip bearish over here. And then I think we should, yeah, continue moving bearish. As long as we stay below 144.760, we should have nice, easy sells at that point. But yeah, it's a shame we got a little bit of slippage, but that's alright. It's basically like, what is it, a pip? Yeah, like just over a pip. Okay, so now we're really expecting volume to continue price moving down. So we're just going to see how we can kind of manage risk over here.
Yeah, I think 5-minute break high.
Yeah, it's going to be the 5-minute break to the high. Yeah, you're right. Is it broke it? Oh, it's coming up to it.
Done too early.
Is it broken it yet?
It's broken it now, yeah.
Yeah, so right over here, closing half the position. Close 50%. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Tough situation. But we still, yeah, so we still got 50% left in. This could just be the top wick on the 15-minute, but then we would need this 15-minute candle to come back below this area, and then we should be good. One hour is also bearish. I think enter too early. No, I don't think it's too early. I mean, you know, we see this structure all the time. The only thing was, okay, maybe it didn't create a little bit of a top wick, fine, but I mean, yeah, it's still okay. You know, we've managed risk is important, but then now what we're looking at, okay, well, as long as we can stay below this area, you know, the sells are still valid. You know, we have 50% left, and if 50% runs into profit, it covers that risk, you know. But then if it's a losing trade, you know, there's no reason to say why if it's a losing trade, then you can come out with a smaller loss than you anticipated. What's going on, Jack? If it's still going down, 134.535 first TP will be 144.196. Yeah, I don't know. My TP is gonna be 144. Let's just say 600. 144.600 is my TP, but that's not to say this trade doesn't play out, because I mean, yeah, does seem as though we are retracing, but we still got some time left. So the first 5-minute candle closed bullish, but we're still in this trade. Yeah, we have a clean range to the left. You know, we was ranging. We anticipated if we break below these lows over here that we should continue moving down. So that's it. What's your TP? TP is 144.600.
I suppose to be more conservative, you could have waited for the 30 minutes to close below.
Yeah, you could have done, but I mean, I still
You
think
might have missed it.
I still think we will continue down. To be completely honest.
It's a nice setup, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, we take this trade, you know, all the time, and you know, it's just it's a probabilities at the end of the day. It's just probabilities. Roger is in GJ sales. Oh, is he? Oh, well, there you go then. Oh yeah, now we're starting to flip over here. Yeah, oh beautiful. We've broken the 5-minute low over here. I think that was just the top wick. Yeah, I think that was just the top wick. But we do want to like manage risk. But like looking back, maybe we could have waited for the top wick and then executed down over there. But it doesn't really matter now. We're in this trade. We got 50% running, so I think it should be good. Yeah, I mean, at worst way, we can add a position if the 15-minute candle closes below this area, because then the 30-minute candle will be closing below. And then as the next one breaks the low, we can add in the risk at that point. But it does seem as though it's struggling over here. Because if this 5-minute candle flips bullish, I mean, yeah, that becomes very difficult. Yeah, we need this 15-minute candle to close bearish. At least the 30-minute candle would then be closing below that area. Do you rely on the 5-minute candles a lot? No, not a lot. Just when we are looking at, let's say, the 15-minute. Like, let's say the entry is based on the 30-minute. So when the entry is based on the 30-minute, we're using the current candle high as a stop loss. So this is a very risky type of entry because, you know, it could flip and hit our stop loss fairly quickly. So we need to take a look at the smaller time frames to be able to determine, are we continuing in our direction that we've anticipated. So since the first 5-minute candle broke the previous 5-minute candle high, it made me very, you know, like want to manage risk. And now see this current 5-minute, it needs to stay below, because if it starts to break the high of the previous, how we would view it is, okay, the 5 minutes got 5 minutes left, and in that 5 minutes, if it's breaking its own high, there's a higher chance that it's going to hit our stop loss. So we would then manage risk again at that point. So I'd probably close like another 50% if we break our own high, and then, you know, let the rest run. But to be completely honest, we want price to stay below 144.760. But this is just where looking at the smaller time frames is going to give you, what's the word, like the confidence to be able to see it continue. So yeah. Because we still got 5 minutes left over here. The 30-minute. Yeah, we need this 30-minute candle to close below this area. We need all these candles to close below. Because if this 5 minute starts to break above these highs over here, then I'm closing another 50%. Last 5 minutes of the candle, we really need it to be continuing bearish. So yeah, I would have waited till it went below around there, 144.600. Well, this is where the target is for sales, but that's up to you. I mean, if you look for sales below that area, that's perfectly fine. That's good also. But this is my plan. If I look on the 30-minute, we have clean traffic to the left-hand side. Okay, maybe we're having some issues with these wicks, but usually with volume, you know, we expect these wicks to break with volume. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, it might have been too early, but when it broke its own low about 5 minutes ago, I added the other half back.
okay, nice.
But yeah, when you said about maybe get the close first, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to wait for the 30-minute to close, because then if the 30-minute candle closes bearish, I have a break and close confirmation, which means that I would be comfortable with adding a position if we break the low over here. I would be comfortable with that, because then at least I know that, you know, this candle high should be respected, and then we should continue moving down. So we've got 3 minutes left over here. Especially if the next 30-minute wicks up a little bit and then starts to drive down with volume, that would be just beautiful. So yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you can break through that like 15-minute area, like a kind of little zone between 144, 720 and 730.
Yeah, I think we should, especially if the next 15-minute wicks up a little bit and then breaks the low. That's definitely going to be the point at which we start to do that. But I'd rather have like a well-managed risk trade on a Monday, where, you know, we close 50%, let the rest run, secure profits, and then yeah, I think that should be good. So we've got around 1.5 minutes for this candle to close. Yeah, so it looks like we had the right idea. Just I don't think it was like we were early, but usually the candle makes a top wick first, whereas in this instance it broke the low pretty quick and then retraced. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, we're continuing bearish over here. But we don't want this candle to close with no wick to the bottom. Otherwise, it would be a very sticky situation. No. Oh. Oh, no wick to the bottom. Damn. Yeah, I think at this point, I'm going to bring the stops above the current 15-minute high. And this is a very difficult situation because it's literally 50-50 whether we're going to continue moving down or not. So since this candle's still open, I mean, it's very, very difficult situation. But we are continuing to run, so I suppose let's just let it do its thing right now. And then if it does,
I closed another half, obviously, just in case.
To be fair, like, Chelsea does make sense.
Oh. Carry on.
There you go, Slim.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was going to say, to be fair, like that sells do make sense because if you look on the 4 hour, we've had that doji 4 hour candle, bearish doji candle, and then now the current 4 hour candle is breaking a low. So like your entry was actually good, even looking back on the 4 hour time frame, because it should just carry on coming down.
Yeah, but my issue is this no bottom wick. I don't see. Usually I'll be closing 50%, but because I've already got 50% running, you know, I could just let this run and see. Let's take a look on the 5 minute. Yeah, it's a very difficult situation. This is a very difficult situation. Because part of me is thinking, do I close another 50% and then let 25% run? But then the other part of me is like, you know, yeah.
So I've got stops
I
to
think the
break
issue
even.
is like,
You got stops to break even.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
the issue is like a lack of volume, really.
Yeah, it's a lack of volume. It's just another. See, it was a good London session in the sense that, I mean, the sells made complete sense, but just this situation over here is a difficult situation because it's like it's literally a 50-50 whether we're gonna retrace or continue down. So I mean, I suppose we could wait to see how the first 5 minute candle closes. Would give us more of an indication. Because if the first 5 minute candle closes bearish, then I mean, at least we're like, okay, we should respect that high. Because then if the first 5 minute candle closes bearish, then I could say, okay, if the next one breaks the high, then I'll close that 50%. Well, yeah, at least we had some volume here this morning, unlike the previous week. I think if this comes back to my entry, that's where I'll close that 50%, because then at least I'm being safer while not being in a drawdown. But yeah,
I'm kind of expecting that to be the top point now.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to try to manage.
Yeah,
just the way it
is. Yeah, no wick is a very difficult situation. So at least we got 50 seconds left for the first 5 minute to close.
Just lacking volume, isn't it?
Yeah, to some extent. Well, we're still in this trade anyway. We've got 50% still running, so I mean, yeah, at least we've brought, so either way, I've brought the stops above the current 15-minute high at this point. First 5-minute candle closed bullish. Interesting. So I closed another 50% right back on my entry point now. Really want to see this candle continue moving bearish. Yeah, I think that was the right thing to do. Yeah, close. So I've got 25% running practically now, because then if the 25% does run, it basically means I'll be break even for the day. So if it does run, that's good. If it doesn't run, then you know, if we lose this trade, then it's a very small, minuscule loss. So there we go.
Yeah, I've just been taken out of that trade. Break even though.
I break even.
Yeah, that was £6 loss in the end.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It wasn't bad considering I had that extra position running as well.
Yeah, it's only Monday. It's only Monday.
Yeah, true, man.
Yeah, I've got my 25% running at this point. So I've got the stops above the previous 15-minute candle, and then whatever happens, it is what it is. But either way, I closed another 50% at break even. So yeah, I think it's pretty good now, because then if it does run, I go break even for the day, and then you know, everyone's laughing. But if we get stopped out, it's a very small loss to start the week. And I think we did exercise good patience here to start the week. You know, we did exercise that good patience. So yeah, I'm happy with this. But it does seem like we have a real lack of volume issue.
It's tough because that 15-minute closed below that little zone to the left. So that's something that's looking good about it. Maybe just making a bit of a top wick.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. 5 minutes doesn't have a top wick either. Yeah, I don't know. 5 minutes a little bit like a lot of them don't have top wicks and bottom wicks. True, no wick, me too. Oh, you're out of this trade, yeah. I was about to get in this trade, bro. Yeah, I think if this candle closed with a wick to the bottom, we would be you know, pushing into profits right now and everything would be good, but yeah, this is what it is. I mean, even if we waited for the close, we would have probably stayed out of this trade. By the close, we would have stayed out. But yeah, if we start to surpass these lows on the 5 minute, we could get a nice volume push to continue down. The 15-minute candle's got 4 minutes left to close. The only way we could have got our 10 pips, the only way we could have got 10 pips was executing sells up over here, somewhere over here. That's the only way we could have got 10 pips, because I suppose we did close below this support, and then when this 15-minute candle closed back below, and then kind of makes sense, like this does make sense within this zone to continue down. But I still think these sells here were the safest opportunity. I think we should continue down over here. If this 5 minute can stay below these lows and even break this low over here, I think we're going to continue moving bearish. Man, I need a drink. How did gold play out? Ooh, gold came back in the range. Your NZD. Ooh, your NZD came back above. Yeah, probably a good thing I said to wait below that area for sales. GU. GU also closed with barely a wick to the bottom, but it did continue moving bearish.
GJ's pushing up a bit.
Is it? I see. Yeah, it looks like a liquidity grab on the 5 minute sort of thing. I think if we break the high of the breakout 5 minute, then I'm probably gonna close the other 25%. Or do I just leave it to run? Is this GJ? Yes, this is GJ. I've been cut out. Yeah, I think I'm about to get stopped out over here. Yeah, I closed everything now. I've closed everything because this candle's got like literally 30 seconds left, and yeah, it looks like it's coming back in the range. Man.
It's been so difficult with the impulse entries because like you're getting in and then the candle's closing with no wick, and then you're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
We get out, just stay in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the only way we could have caught pips here today was sells over here on this top wick on the 15-minute. But I think it was pretty risky. But the only good thing was we were closing below this area. But yeah, so 15-minute kind of closed back in the range. I mean, yeah, difficult day. But, you know, a small loss. So I had a small, what was the loss here today? I think it was like 150. It's not bad from a 5 lot. So it's not bad at all for a Monday here. So I'm going to go make a drink now at this point because I am dying for a drink. So yeah, it is what it is, I'm afraid. Sales didn't play out. Took the one trade. Let's put this up over here. So we had GJ, sales. It's kind of like, yeah, like minus 2 pips in the end. 3 pips. Yeah, we'll go 2 pips. We'll put 3 pips actually. So not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, we would have stopped out over there. Yeah, so not bad at all really for a Monday. For a difficult situation. I think, look, we always have to say, okay, how could we have done better? And how we could have been better was, okay, maybe because it broke the low fairly quickly, but then we've seen it do that and still run. So yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. GJ is going to consolidate around there because of what happened last week. I don't think that's necessarily. I think you're not wrong, but I mean, in London session we ranged, so we should see volume coming this week. You know, yes, it's only Monday, but because we've ranged pretty much for the last 2 weeks on London, we should start to see volume. You know, we should start to see volume. But yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna go make a drink here real quick. So gold's not really doing much. In fact, we're gonna call it a session soon here anyway. But your NZD coming back below that area. Wow, double fake out. GU. Yeah, difficult Monday. Difficult Monday. Yeah, I'm gonna go make a drink and then we're gonna call it a day in like maybe 20 minutes, something like that. So yeah, I'll be back in like a couple minutes. Bear with me. Okay, we're back. So it looks like the 30-minute ended up closing below that area. Yeah, very difficult situation. Does seem like it wants to continue down. If you look at the 1 hour time frame, the 1 hour also closed below this zone. So I mean, I won't be taking a second entry, but I mean, maybe a good second entry for those who didn't is gonna be, I don't know, actually it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit of a tough situation. But there we go. What's your bias on GJ? The bias was bearish, but we just didn't. Just didn't really play out as how we expected it to, you know. So yeah, it is what it is. It's the new 4 hour candle as well. It's another thing. For me, I'm still waiting on that 144 600 to break. Yeah, I mean that could also work. EU sales look clean. Wait for candle to close below resistance. I think you mean above resistance, or you mean below support. Just went to get some food. How did the trade go? I closed out everything. It was a losing trade. It was like -3 pips, but either way, yeah, it wasn't an easy sell, to be completely honest. Like when I look back, I think the signal was the fact we created resistance after London Open. So had I have entered in maybe somewhere over here in this vicinity, then we would have caught the 10 pips at that point. Because, you know, I don't know, let's say we got in on the close, then we would have rid this candle down to support. It would have been like a tough sell though, you know, it would have been a very difficult sell, but it did run into 10-12 pips at that point. But at the same time, obviously safer sells were also going to be below this area, but because they kind of closed in a wick, that's why we, yeah, very, very difficult situation. But I don't know, it is what it is, innit? You know, it's a Monday. We took a small loss on a Monday with no other trade to be taken. You know, as long as we keep the losses small, then, you know, we can still have a really good week. So, I mean, yeah, it doesn't quite set the tone for the rest of the week, but hopefully we will start to get volume picking up later on in the week. So before we call it a day here, let's do a little bit of a wrap up. So GU seems to be reacting to a support over here. Maybe on the 15-minute, it's reacting to this 15-minute support to the left. If we look at EURNZD, still waiting for these sells below this area. I mean, if we get that today, maybe like in the New York session or later on, probably will execute on it. Looking at the 4 hour, the previous 4 hour closed like a weak bullish. So, I mean, we could start to see the sells coming into play later on, which will be really nice. But I'll just have to wait for that. EUR-JPY just ranging. We spoke about better buys would be above 127, 120 for price to continue bullish. But I mean, right now it's come back to create support and it's just kind of ranging. GJ is very difficult right now. You know, it doesn't really. Yeah, it's just like it can continue moving down, but I mean, if you want to be really safe, then you would probably want to wait for this 30-minute candle to close bearish. You know, if you want to be super safe, that's what you want to wait for. But apart from that, yeah, it's just kind of like difficult, I suppose. And then gold is just ranging, so we can kind of neaten up this zone now because gold is in a range over here. So there we go. We had no news or anything here this morning, did we? Not really. Nothing substantial. Yeah, very difficult situation. Do you look at charts? Yes, we do. That is what we're looking at right now. So then, difficult day today, again, in the London session. The only thing I can say is this, at the moment, you have to take each day as it comes. We never know when volume's going to come, right? We just have to visually anticipate volume and buy the candles. But, I'm hoping this week should be a better week for the London session. I think it should be. So, yeah, today's trade was difficult. If we look back, I don't think it was wrong. I don't think there was anything wrong with the trade. Maybe could have waited for the 15 minutes to create a top wick. But even then, what we pushed 5-6 pips into profit. Then we kind of came back to the entry. So it would always have been a difficult day to make money. This isn't a day that money was going to be made in this particular situation over here. Maybe later on there's going to be volume coming in, but as it stands, there's nothing right now as it stands. As it stands, we're kind of looking at you would want this low to break, because this is still a support. Despite us breaking the lows over here on the 15-minute, we have support right over here. And it's kind of like this jagged down motion. I hate that kind of trend that goes so, like this. It's
awful.
Yeah, it's just bad price action. And at any point, you can just get a candle that just kind of flies up. At any point, because of that, it's like it's trying to go down, but then it's fighting buyers coming into the market. So it's just a lack of volume. Really, is the truth of it. But yeah, so even if you took a loss here today, if you took a win, there's definitely always something to be learned. So drop a like on the stream. Obviously, either way, I really appreciate people dropping likes on the stream. It helps to spread what we do here. When London session moves well, we kill it. When it doesn't, it's hard for everybody. But as we do these streams longer, and experience begins to gain, I'm sure we'll continue to just strive and get better, so and grow as a community and as a team. So yeah, it looks like the 30 minutes flipping bearish. Yeah, it can continue down, but it's just one of those. It's just bad price action. It's just bad price action. Even if I left my 25% to run, it would have gone into drawdown, and it ended up being a much bigger loss had I have, kept it originally, the 25% stop loss, the same place. So really manage risk, and that's what you can do, That's all you can do. So yeah. Okay. So we're gonna call it a day here now. So yeah, difficult day. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. But yeah, even though we're retracing, remember, if the weekly retraces and does create a bottom wick, then from these areas, if we start to create strong supports, we can buy it all the way back up again if we get the confirmation. So plenty of time. So there we go. So thanks everyone for watching. Back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. GMT. And yeah, should be better tomorrow. Tuesday, Wednesday should be better with volume. And yeah. Thanks very much everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. See you, Salim. See everyone in the Zoom. Appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow.